Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. 326 patch notes are out, and I wanted to do a quick one-take video about Frostblades and how it was impacted and changed and what you should expect for it in the upcoming league. So real quick, the skill gem itself, Frostblades, it did get nerfed, but only the projectile component. Okay, so I've heard so many people have already came and asked me in one day, how about is the nerf? Is Frostblades dead? The answer is no. It's not dead at all. This nerf is only for the projectile component of the skill, which is only for your clear. Whenever you were fighting any single target, you were not hitting it with your projectiles. You were hitting it with the melee strike component of the skill. So this nerf is not going to affect Frostblade's single target at all, which is the only part of the skill that really matters, honestly. I think the projectile damage component being nerfed, this nerf will probably not even be noticeable, in my opinion. This will only affect like your projectiles hitting like a tanky rare off screen or something that, you know, you might not one shot a rare off screen anymore. You might have to actually go hit it once. But basically the Frostblades did not get touched at all in terms of like its single target damage and like the way the build will feel. I don't think it's going to change hardly at all. So I have three different Frostblades POBs here. I have a Warden one, I have a Trickster one, and I have a Champion one. And I just want to kind of briefly talk about all of them and what the differences are between them, and you can decide for yourself if you want to play any of them. So the Trickster is going to be basically the same as before. It just took a little bit of a nerf. It took like a 1% more damage nerf on polymath, which because you have about 12 masteries, this equates to about 12%. You lost about 12% more damage on the Trickster from this polymath nerf, and then it lost about 20% of its escape artist potential. So you're going to have about you won't have 20% less evasion or energy shield though, because escape artist, you know, didn't account for all of that. But you'll probably lose, I don't know, like 5% of your evasion and energy shield from before because of this escape artist nerf or something like that. Maybe 10% of it. So you're going to lose a little bit of evasion and energy shield from this escape artist nerf. But overall, the Trickster is still going to be a very, very solid option. This nerf was not as big as I was expecting it to be. The Champion changes, though, are amazing. I think the Champion's going to be a very strong ascendancy this league. I might league start Champion. I still haven't decided what I'm even going to league start at this point. But Champion's going to get Perma Fortify back again, and it's going to be Maximum Fortify. So if you take the Fortify wheel on the tree right here, this gives you 6 Fortify. This means Champion's going to have 26 Fortify all the time, which is insane. And then it's also going to get more armor and evasion above 20. So if you have 26 just as a baseline, you're going to have 18% more armor and evasion, and then also 18% increased attack speed, which is very good. And then it also gets Worthy Foe, has Taunt on Hit, and it doesn't require the travel node. So now you're going to get this node right here as a 2-point node instead of a 4-point node. And it's just going to give you cannot evade attacks, which means it gives you free hit cap. You don't need accuracy, which is incredibly strong. And then also 20% increased damage taken, which is very good. So you're going to get that for free. And then the other node here doesn't really matter that much, I don't think, for Frostblades. But yeah, I think if I went Frostblades on Champion, I would go Worthy Foe, and then First to Strike, Last to Fall, and then Fortitude and Unstoppable. So this is free Giga Fortify with some armor and evasion and attack speed bonus, and then you can use this to keep yourself intimidated all the time, which intimidates very good. And then you could also take this for hits can't be evaded. There's also like a perseverance angle to this where you go Grace Determination and go Inspirational instead, and then use Perseverance and get like 60,000, 70,000 armor and evasion with Grace and Determination. The Mercenaries are probably going to enable that. Depending on how much, you know, aura power we can get from the Mercenaries. That kind of remains to be seen, so I'm not going to really make any POBs about that at the moment. But overall, Champion's going to be a very, very strong ascendancy. It's not going to have nearly as much damage as Warden, though, and neither will the Trickster. Warden is still going to be the damage king for Frostblades because this ascendancy just packs nothing but damage. So if you want damage, Warden is still the choice. It's not even it's a no-brainer. Warden didn't get changed at all in the patch notes. So Warden will still be exactly the same. What else is there about Frostblades? Frostblades didn't really get touched that much, honestly. It's still going to be incredibly strong. I don't think there was anything else in the patch notes that affected Frostblades on Warden. Champion and Trickster are both going to be different. Warden will be the same. If you want to play Warden, I never made before a sword version of Warden, especially not a tri-Ellie version. If you want to go Warden, I recommend sword, because if you go sword, you can come down here more easily and then also build it with block. I don't think glass cannon Warden is really the play, because you don't really gain that much more damage than a sword version that goes block, because there's just such good damage nodes here around block, and you can get block cap for very, very easily, like with very little investment. So if you go full damage, you can squeeze out a little bit more. And this is a tri-LE POB here. This POB was modified from my splitting steel build that got completely deleted, so I'm still sad about that. So this POB is not fully optimized around Frostblades yet. I just modified it a little bit. But I probably will do some more modifications in the upcoming week, depending on what I decide to league start. I'm looking at maybe starting Volcanic Fissure of Snaking instead. I don't know. I might end up just starting Frostblades. I still haven't made up my mind. I'm in build paralysis mode at the moment, like I'm sure many of you are too. But anyway, Frostblades is going to be very, very good in the upcoming league. There's going to be a lot of choices for you to choose from. Slayer is also going to be decent for it if you want to go Slayer, although I don't know. I don't think I would ever pick Slayer over Champion right now. So yeah, Champion and Trickster are going to be your tanky choices. If you want to have some energy shield and be tanky with energy shield, then that's your Trickster option. If you want to be tanky, armor, and evasion, then Champion is your option. And if you want to be a little bit less tanky, but you want to have like twice as much damage, or 4 times as much damage, then Warden is your option. So all 3 are very solid choices depending on what you want. So yeah, choose the one you want. I think that's it for this video. Frostblades is awesome. It's still going to be awesome in 326, and the mercenaries are probably going to give us new power that maybe we've never even seen before. So I can't wait to get into the league and check it out and see where the builds go. Hope you guys have fun. Thanks for checking out my video. Subscribe to the channel. Come by my Twitch at twitch.tv/zishpoe. I'll be streaming a lot in the upcoming league. I'm doing a private league for 326 also, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned for an upcoming video on how to join that. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.